Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob. I'm Wayne Highlander with Bona Adhesives.
I'm Rob Johnson with the Bona Training.
How we doing, Rob?
Pretty good. How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Good to see you there. Got the
Oh, I
American
bet it
flag.
is.
Yep.
All
Well, I
good
guess
for
the
you.
audience can't see your American flag, but I can see it.
What's that?
I guess the audience can't see your American flag behind you, but I can see it.
Yeah, Pauline likes to, she likes to decorate the office. So,
Yeah, looks good.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I'm happy I can see you.
yep.
I had uh I had my first cataract surgery.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, tell me I'm old without telling me that I'm old.
I was
Those words came out of my mouth. I had cataract surgery.
wow. Yeah. Well, first clue was last week when you said you've been in the industry 50 years. That might have been a clue that you're up there a little bit.
Yep.
But
I
as
just, I just don't feel it. I just feel so immature.
huh, well, you are immature.
Yeah,
That's a good thing.
absolutely.
It's,
It's a
it's
good thing.
funny that you said you had cataract surgery because as we were, a couple minutes here before the show started, I was thinking to myself, your eyes look more blue than they normally do.
Yeah, one blew this way, one blew that way.
No, no, no.
But this eye, the right eye, Pauline and I definitely noticed that. She goes, "Did they do something to your eyelid? It's like open more."
Yeah. In fact, I wrote a poem about it, about your blue eyes. With eyes so blue like the ocean's tease, they sparkled and shimmered, bringing laughter with ease. One day in the park, oh, what a sight! His eyes sparkled so bright. They caused sheer delight. Birds perched nearby, squinting in shock, thinking, who turned on the blue-eyed clock? A squirrel, bewildered, tried to take flight, chased by the gaze that beamed so bright. It darted and dashed, thinking, oh boy, not today. I'll stick to acorns. Those brown things are safer, I say. And then there was Tim, who couldn't help but stare. Rob, your eyes are bluer than the sky on a dare. Are they printed by Picasso or dipped in the sea? Or did you just find a big vat of blueberry tea? Rob chuckled aloud with a wink and a grin. My eyes are just blue. There's no trick, just good skin. But folks in the town, oh, they simply dubbed him the blue-eyed wonder. With laughter they rubbed. So if you see Rob in his blue-eyed glory, just know it's a tale, not a sad kind of story. For his eyes may be blue like the ocean's hue, but it's his charm and his wit that shine through too.
It's
That's for you, Rob.
amazing how you can just pound out the poetry
Oh,
now.
I can just write. I didn't know I was a poet.
I
Just
had no idea
I would have
that
to
you
think about
were
it.
such a poet. Now, that was a great poem. I appreciate it, but you do know I have brown eyes, right?
You're kidding me.
No, no, they're brown.
Are you serious?
And yeah, they've been brown all my life. Yep,
Well, isn't
brown
that?
eyes. Pauline's got the big blue eyes, not me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Well, I wouldn't
yeah.
certainly want to
So
write
you
another
know
poem
what?
about your wife.
Just send me that poem, and I'll switch the letters around, switch the words around. Okay,
Okay. There you
and
go.
I'll read your poem to her.
There you go. That's
You
funny.
really are. You really are.
It's amazing how it just comes to me.
You are just climbing in with the AI, huh? You have
Yeah.
embraced it, man.
All right. Today we are going to talk about scheduling. Gosh,
Wait a minute. Wait a
what?
minute. I'm not done with my cataract story.
Oh, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Yeah. So I get there, right? And they put you under to do this,
Hey, yeah,
right?
that's good.
And the anesthesia guy, he comes up to me and he's like, "All right, here's the deal. Okay. Um, you're gonna see three white lights. And once you see those three white lights, do not move. If
Okay.
you if you need to sneeze or you need to cough, you need to yell out stop, right? Because I guess they don't want you thrashing around
Yeah.
when they're cutting your eye, right?
Where do they give the anesthesia? In the eyes?
No, in my wrist. they like knock you out.
Well, then you're knocked out.
Yeah. Well, no, you're not really knocked out,
Okay.
right? You're not out. You're just
Okay.
like in la la land, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm thinking, geez, I hope I don't have to, one cough or something like
Of
that.
course.
And bingo, they're worse.
Yeah.
Plus, I got to find out more about it. I really don't know what they did. They put a new lens in or something,
Yeah.
right? After they cut. Anyways, I see three white lights. But when I got in there, they strapped me down to the board and then they take like a piece of duct tape and just wail it on your head,
To hold your
right?
hand still?
Yeah, to hold your head still, right? And they're like, this is just so you don't move around. I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem,
Yeah.
right? And then bingo, I see the three white lights. And then I'm being wheeled out the door, and there's Pauline in the car outside of the joint,
No
right?
kidding.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Thank gosh.
So
Uh,
they're I'm in the chair, right? And they're like, "Can you get up?" And I'm like, "What?" I look at Pauline and I go, "Did they not do it?"
mhm.
She goes, "No, no, you've been recuperating for." I go, "You got to be kidding me."
Wow. In fact, they
You
gave you
know,
colonoscopy while you were out.
yeah, this they should have. You know what? That would have been a good idea.
You should have. They should combine
I'm
them.
I'm already out,
Yep.
right? Get in
Yeah.
there and clean that up too.
Yeah. Take care of your eyes and your ass at the same time.
Exactly. Boy, that would be quite the center.
They should network cataract guys
Yes,
and colonoscopy guys.
right. I tell you,
No.
man, I was cracking up. Like, okay, there's the white lights.
Wow.
And
You're
the
out.
next thing you know, I'm out the door. I'm literally that's what I remember was them wheeling me out the door, and there's Pauline in the car. I'm like,
Man.
what the hell is going on here? What
Can
did
you
I think?
imagine
The
the,
insurance say no or something?
the Civil War days? What did they do? You know what I mean? They get in there with a pair of pliers and a hammer. So, do you see any better?
No, it's worse.
Oh, well, it maybe just happened.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, it just happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, they say it's gonna take a little while
Yeah. Well,
to
I must
and
be
every day I
close.
wake up, I'm like, today's a day. Boy, it's gonna be like a hawk. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Hmm.
nah, oh, still wax paper there.
Yeah, that's too bad. Hmm. Well, at least you got it behind you.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, I gotta go in do the other one.
Oh, you only got one of them done?
Yeah, they only do one at a time.
That's smart. Yeah. Well, surgeries have never worked on me, so I probably won't get mine done. Although I do hear that I have small, a little bit of cataracts, but not a big deal.
Yeah, I guess I had a really big one, they said.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, cool.
who knows?
All right.
Hey, what are we gonna talk about today? We gotta talk about something.
Let's talk about scheduling. I mean, if you one of the hardest parts of this whole business is scheduling the jobs. And is there nothing worse, anything worse than when you got the war board in your office. You got, all right, we're doing this job from here to here. This one starts here and goes to there. This one here, we're here, and I got this guy going here. You got it all lined up, and then somebody calls the last minute and says, "Hey, yeah, we're not going to be ready for you." It's a horrible feeling, man. I mean, now you got to scramble, right? So I think that's one of the toughest things about being in business is the scheduling. And I know a lot of people we're all the same way. I mean, once you commit to somebody, you don't want to have to put those guys off. You don't want to have to say, "Hey, we're not going to be ready." It just feels unprofessional, no matter how good the excuse is or the reasoning behind it. It just feels like you let somebody down. The first part of the job is you're starting off on the wrong foot, and it just kind of gives you a bad taste in your mouth. And then, especially when you're telling someone, you can see their eyes kind of roll, like, "Yeah, here we go again."
Yeah,
Um,
just your typical contractor
yeah.
screwing me over.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's two.
Sometimes you want to tell those people that, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I was out, I was at the beach for a week and
mhm,
I just felt like screwing you over.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sensitive that as soon as as just a heartbeat away from them giving me that look, I'm I'm mad. So I thought we would talk about that. How to maybe get your clients not to do that to you, number one, and then maybe how you can defend against it. And I'll tell you something, and it's a mistake I made for a long time, because I felt like I don't need the money, it's whatever. But it's not about that. Get the deposit. Once you get the deposit and they're on, that's a commitment. But if there's no deposit, well, something else came up, whatever, you're not as committed to it. But it is so important to get a deposit. I think just for that reason alone. It's not that, yes, it covers the material and all that kind of stuff. But for the longest time, I'd say, on the contract, after we deliver the wood, get so much of the money, and then after we install so much and blah, blah, blah. But I didn't really get a deposit a lot of times to hold the job. And honestly didn't have a whole lot of problem with scheduling, whatever. I mean, there's only one time in my life that really makes me mad when I think about it, because the guy got me twice. Um, and but other than that, we didn't have a lot of problems with it. But I did not, for the longest time, take a deposit to hold the job, and I think that is the one key thing you can do to stop these guys from the clients and what have you from changing your schedule around.
When Pete and I were in business together, probably the first 2 years, I never did that. Never took a deposit. Maybe a wood deposit on installs, but that was about it. And then we got screwed a few times, and I said, "All
Mhm.
right, that's it." And the other thing I found about taking a deposit were people were ready for us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? If
yeah, I
on
do.
a bunch of times, I remember a couple times we showed up and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot you were coming. Oh, really? Oh, today is it?
Yeah,
Oh, is it the 15th already?"
yeah,
And you're like, yeah, well, I got to clean the rooms out. And you, once I started to get that deposit, that was it, man.
yeah,
People knew we were coming, knew
yeah.
we were ready, right? And now I think they have some skin in the game too.
I think the best two pieces of advice I've got that made the most sense to me, and I can't remember the lady's name in our industry. I want to say it was Chris Coates. I mean, I know Chris Coates, but I don't know if it was her or not. But it was some lady said, when it talked about contracts, do you need a contract? By the way, a lot of people are still asking me for my contract. We did that one episode on the contract. If you want it, if you still would like to have a look at it, I can send you a copy of it at wayne.highlander@bona.com, HIGHLANDER. Be more than happy to send it out to you. It's amazing how many I've sent out, and happy to do it. But the one thing she said that was so smart to me was handshakes are great for introductions. After that, I want a contract. Yeah, that is so smart.
Yeah.
And I think taking deposits to hold the job. And I didn't do it. A lot of times I feel like I haven't done anything yet. So I'm asking this guy for money and I haven't really even done anything yet. But it shows a commitment that, hey, they have skin in the game too. That, you know what I mean? So it was a mistake of me for years not to do that. So I think that's probably the best. I think that's number one, your defense against your scheduling changing and something moving you around. Second thing I learned is that contractors are not good at communicating. General contractors, if you're a sub, if a general contractor's on a job and he's got a lot of different things going on, I've come to realize they aren't good at communicating. I have to be proactive and communicate, reach out to them. And oftentimes I'll ask them, hey, how often is too much for me to reach out to you? I usually reach out a couple weeks ahead of time and they'll go, yeah, that's great. Or if you got really good contractors you work with all the time, they feel the value of having you on the job and one of their subs, and they're very good at communicating and scheduling and what have you. But I stopped a long time ago taking it for granted that someone's going to do something that they say they're going to do. You do feel like you have to kind of babysit a lot. So I think that's the next thing in line that you can do is over communicate to make sure that people are on schedule like they say they're going to be.
Yeah, and I think you're going to get lot less complaints about over communicating than under communicating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe going a little over isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just so, uh, like you said, everything we're trying to do now is maintain the schedule. Um, and we have a lot of guys in the sport world. Uh, so when I saw scheduling and you wanted to do the show on scheduling for the sport is means a completely different thing. You're when you were talking about the war board, right?
Hmm.
And I'll never forget. I remember in May going into my dad's office and there was the board, you know,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my gosh, look at this. This summer is laid out
Hmm.
perfect. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
look at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Oh, I got that weekend home,
Yeah.
that weekend home. This is
Yeah.
this is ideal.
Yeah.
And so all the sport guys know what I'm about to say. All of a sudden, you know, the months don't change and the days and the months don't change. But I noticed writing was getting smaller
Yeah. Yeah.
and smaller and smaller, and he just kept adding, right?
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I was working with a sport crew in down the Philly area, and the foreman he keeps talking about the book. We go by the book, the book, the book, the book, the book. And I said, well, once the book is full, that's it. That's the end. I mean, at least you know what you're going. He goes, oh no, no, not around here. Once
Yeah.
the book is full, he starts a new book.
New chapter.
There's a new book. So when I saw this scheduling, yeah, scheduling with you, it was like you're killing my schedule if you're not ready. With sport, that schedule just keeps getting added to. I mean, it's kind of funny too, what it starts out with, late spring and then, come August,
Yeah.
it's hysterical what
Yeah. Yeah.
what the schedules are. It's almost yeah. Do you ever see that? You remember Lucille Ball? The what was the name of that show? I Love Lucy.
I love Lucy. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and she was in a candy factory with
I
her
know exactly what
Ethel.
you're talking about. Yes.
You know the one, and the
Yes. When
candy
she,
keeps coming.
yeah, she starts eating
Yeah,
him because she can't keep up with
yeah.
him.
She's
Yeah.
eating them, shoving them down her shirt. Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That that
Yeah.
is the sports season. That is the perfect analogy for all our sport listeners out there, because I know they're gonna go. Yeah, I know, Rob. No kidding.
Yeah.
And right
Um,
now, what are we? It's beginning of June, right? So now it's starting to, yeah,
yeah.
that schedule's starting to fill up. And come August, I'll
Yeah.
never forget how tiny the writing was getting, you know.
Yeah. Well, I've learned not to write in pen, to write in pencil.
Yeah.
And then also when we were like booked and slammed, whatever, and we just we're so swamped and everything, and a really good job would come up. At that point, I would go to my brothers and go, "Hey guys, look, here's where we're at. Here's on the schedule, but this job came up, so we'll probably have to put this one in here, and that means maybe we got to work a Saturday or blah blah blah. And what do you guys think?" And just so we would all have ownership of it. And they go, I don't know, I like to have some time off. So then I go, huh. Well, so this client is a really good, blah blah blah. And eventually, like, yeah, we're gonna do the job. I just wanted to see if you guys were, on the same page, but just to let you know, we are doing the job.
I've talked about Uncle Freddie on the show a lot. Okay. And man, did he play us one Thursday night. It was middle of the season, and things were really starting to rock. And he takes me and two of the main guys on the crew, takes the three of us out, and it was kind of weird. Like he never takes us out, you
Mhm.
know. This is and he's buying us drinks and "Well, you guys want a steak, it was all, And as we're eating everything, he starts going off on how amazing we are, right? Just
Yeah.
like nobody, nobody can work like this crew. Nobody can get out there. People
Yeah.
can't do what you guys do, right? And
Yeah.
he is just going, right? Our heads are like this. We walked out of there, chest out, right? Yeah, we are the baddest mothers in the land,
Yeah.
right? And then as we're now we thought we were going home on Saturday, but no, there was something
Yeah.
got snuck into the schedule.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning, and we're all looking at each other like, my God, did he play us? Huh?
Wow.
Did he ever play us like a fiddle, man?
Nice.
Like, there
Yep.
we are. Yeah, we're the
Yep.
best. Yeah,
Yeah.
we nobody can outwork us. Yeah,
Yep.
day and night, 24/7. We don't stop. What a crew.
Oh man. Um, one thing now since the cell phones are out, you didn't have it years ago. It's so easy now. The calendar on the cell phone is one of the most important parts of that phone. It's a lifesaver. I mean, I live by my calendar. And now when a job goes on the board, very easy to put it in your what's it called? Your phone. Sorry, just got a message come up. Put on your phone 2 weeks prior to that to call the guy. So 2 weeks ahead of time, call this number, make sure they're on schedule, blah, 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 blah. So just give them more, you know what I mean? But if you put it on your calendar as like a routine thing, the job starts here 2 weeks before that. I get a reminder come up and then there I go. So
You got to use those reminders. I think that's one of the best parts of my phone.
yeah, yep,
Things don't sneak up on you when you get the
yep,
reminders.
yep.
And I got to thank Pauline for that.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm going to give her a bell. Yeah. But
Um,
Pauline introduced me to reminders, and that was huge.
yeah.
Huge.
I'll tell you something else that especially when you're doing big jobs and big projects and what have you, there's a lot of money involved and what have you. Putting a cancellation clause in the contract is important. Where that outlines the notice it requires, any fees that will be incurred in the projects is terminated early. If you know what I mean, just put
Hmm.
something in there that covers yourself in that regard. You may have ordered material, you may have done all those type of things. So putting a clause in the contract, I think to me is, and especially now that's a different kettle of fish, but on a big job, especially I will get my material money up front. I do that. I think that's important. So, uh,
Oh, yeah. We always got material. Material money was a must. Material money was always a must, but like I said, a couple years in, we started to get deposits.
yeah,
And I think too, you can keep a deposit depending on the state you're in, because you did block off time.
yeah,
And if somebody does cancel the job, in some states, you could forfeit your down payment. New York is not one of those states. I found that one out because the guy canceled the job. And I'm like, well, I'm not giving you back
yeah.
your deposit. You booked me, and
But you know something, and what I realized with the one guy I told you that the one guy sticks out that I was mad at that he's really the only guy who sticks out in my whole career because he got us 2 weeks in a row. I just realized he's stupid. You know what I mean? In the end of the day, that he didn't realize the impact of pushing us off a week. Like, all right, well, we blocked you off in time. I can't. You tell me on a Sunday night that you're not ready. I can't just pull a job out of my hat. You know what I mean? We were committed to you for a week, so you got us sitting for a week. There's only 52 of those in a year. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, and I don't think he grasped and understood what he was doing to us when he did that. So maybe communicating a little bit more to up front, like listen, if you pull us off schedule, what have you, and we're sitting, it's time that we're not working. So it's really important that we communicate with each other. And the other thing too is you can sometimes a job will come along that's like pain in the butt job, like you got to replace three boards and do a repair or whatever. There's not a lot of money in it. You know what I mean? It's not one that you're too very excited about because you have to schedule it. And it's like, where am I going to schedule this? It's just one more thing on the board. But if you're able to have some jobs like that, that you can say, look, we'll do the job and it's $700, but if I schedule, put it on the schedule, I got to charge you more. But if I can fit you in where something opens up, would that work for you? And they might go, yeah, if I say $400 and you can just call me and when you guys are ready and give me a day's notice, we can just move this out of here and we can go. Not a bad, not a bad thing to arrange with somebody that you can have some of those jobs that can fill in the empty slots. Um, and we used to have what I used to call razzle dazzle jobs. But I noticed towards the end of my career, there was less and less of them. Those type of jobs where, hey, it's two bedrooms. We can knock this out real quick. If we're between coats, let's say we already got the schedule booked out, but this guy called and it's not far from where these other jobs are. So hell, we could put a coat on. We go there and knock this out pretty easy. You know what I mean? And we can kind of work that into the schedule. I don't know why, but towards the end of my career, it just seemed like there were less and less of those type of jobs. But if you can have someone that you can communicate with and just say, listen, man, we can do it, charge you this, but if I have to put on the schedule, we have to plan around it. You know, I was going to charge you more, but if it just fits in when it makes, you know, when we can just call you a day or two ahead of time, you know, maybe that would be an option too to help you out in some of those cases.
Plan B. Got to have a plan B, right?
Yeah,
You got to
yeah,
have something for the off days.
yeah,
We can't all golf and fish.
yeah, it's true. I told you I got new grass for my boat.
Yes, I heard.
That's the most money I've ever spent for, and I got a Bass Pro card. Just so Judy wouldn't see the impact of it yet. I'll tell you what, you'd have to be in a submarine to be closer to those fish than I am now with my graps. They're pretty slick, man. But I got to break that to Judy. Um,
How you going to do it? Bring her out to dinner. Treat her nice.
yeah, she's too smart for that. Yeah, she knows something's up. I
You
know she
know,
don't care, but the guilt of it is killing me. How much I spent on them.
we Pete and I we had a flooring store that we used to do a lot of work for, and the guy who owned it, we knew him from high school. He was like a couple years older than us. Okay, yeah, and he was an all right guy. Yeah, that's all I'll say. Anyways, he blew us up. We show up to the job, and his brother's on the job, and he's like, "Oh man, we're not ready for you." And I'm like, All right, well, this is on me. You know, I
Yeah.
should have called. This is definitely, yeah, learn, live and learn, whatever."
Mhm.
We did have a plan B. I did have something we could go do, so that week was okay. We come back, I don't know, a couple weeks later, again.
Ah,
And this time I was like, hey, I called him on like Wednesday. I'm like, we're good for Monday. Yep, all set. Good. Get there Monday. No, something happened. And I know nothing happened.
yeah,
They just kind of blew me off, right?
yeah.
So once again, we're scrambling. We ended up, yeah, we did play golf that week, but we ended up getting something to do. Now, the something that we got to do, now when I get there, it's supposed to be there Monday to start. Okay. But we're doing a final coat on the something to do job.
Hmm.
So I don't get to that job till around 11 o'clock in the morning. So we're kind of laying out, getting ready, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's wife walks in. She was like partners in the business with him.
Okay.
And she's kind of walking by us and she looks at me and she goes, "It's about time you effers got here."
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Now, I laughed, right? I
Yeah.
thought,
Right.
hey, I thought
Yeah.
she was, kidding around,
Yeah.
right? And she's a hottie too. So you
Yeah.
can, just about say whatever you want to me.
Hmm.
And then all of a sudden I start, she's serious. She was serious when she
Wow.
said that.
Wow.
Like we're screwing her schedule up.
Yeah.
So this is the old days, right?
Hmm.
And we are hand nailing this floor. And the more I am swinging the mallet, the more pissed I am getting, right?
Yeah.
To the point where Pete is laughing and he's like, "You're gonna break the nailer. You
Yeah.
can't stop, okay?" That's how I was just furious, okay?
Mhm.
And then finally I just throw the hammer, I throw the mallet, and I go, I'll be back.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're going over to the store, aren't you?" I go, yeah, I can't work. I so as I'm walking out the door, I'll never forget. Peter yells, "Hey, try not to get arrested, okay?" And he's just laughing, right? Because I just exploded. Well, I walked through the door, and I think his wife might have told him, right? He's with a customer. I I didn't kick the door open, but I
Yeah.
flung that door open so it right to
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
store, and
Hmm.
I just start like not running, but moving pretty swift at that guy as
Yeah.
he's with a customer, and he's like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute."
Yeah. Yeah. He knew.
Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. I just absolutely couldn't believe it. But I didn't get arrested and I didn't beat
Yeah.
him up. But
Yeah. They stick with you.
oh, that, yeah, I'll never forget that one.
You
And it,
know,
you know how many times that happened to us?
I
You
mean,
know, a couple,
yeah.
maybe in
Yeah.
all those years.
Yep.
But man, oh man, my grandfather was right. A good job, it leaves your head. A bad
Yeah.
job,
Yes.
that will stick with you and you will tell everybody, my gosh, that story has to be 40 years old.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I'm getting worked up thinking
Yeah.
like how furious I was when she said, "Oh, it's about time you first got here." I'm like, she's serious. Holy crap.
I'd call him up to say, I was thinking about this after these years. You know, on the
I
flip,
would.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I I would, but
Dead?
I heard a couple years ago the poor bastard fell off a ladder and he's paralyzed.
Oh, be darned.
So
That's awful. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you won.
So
You could visit him to say, look, I'm not saying
yeah,
it's
I could
because of
visit
this.
him, but what if I really start, getting worked up again? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
yeah,
Well, he wouldn't
exactly.
feel it. Just kick him in the legs. I'll tell you the flip side of that is there no better feeling when a contractor does that to your schedule and say, yeah, man, I can't have you. I just can't have you in there. We're behind, whatever. And then calls you up a few days later and said, okay, we're ready now. You go, I'm booked, booked. When's your next opening? You got about 2 months. That was it. That was your time. Yeah, that's a good feeling, especially if you don't care about the guy. That's a good. All right. So what else? Um, uh,
Educating the client.
yeah, kind of talked about that a little bit. Regular communication, we talked about that, deposits, everything. You know what, Rob? Uh, I think we covered it. Um, the one thing I will say, the only other thing I got is, and what Josh Hansman is doing right now. You lucky dog, you. He's getting ready for you. You're doing a Bona training there next week, right?
Yes,
For his
sir.
company. Have you seen what he's doing? The panels he's
No.
doing?
Oh
He,
no.
he's doing some extraordinary stuff, man.
Oh no. Is he really? What's he
Yeah,
doing?
yeah. I'm not telling you. I think he wants to be a surprise. So, but the reason I say that is because see, I like his style. I mean, he's not doing it because of this, but look, great. Okay, so we're dead in the water. We got 3 days. We can't get anything done. Let's learn. Let's teach ourselves how to do a rowing pattern and make a sled a jig for a sled. Let's do a herringbone panel and practice with that, or you know what I mean, or make
Yep.
samples for the showroom, cut them into little sample sections with all the different stain colors. Madeline Madeline, we had Madeline with our social media gal was on last week, and she's fantastic. And she was saying how when people do videos of colors, how it really those videos get a lot of likes and looks and whatever. I hate those videos myself because it's for guys. Well, first of all, I hated doing samples. That's probably why. It reminds me of doing samples all the time in colors and what have you. But homeowners love them. So making samples, maybe do some social media. Let's take an advantage of this and do some really good social media videos. Do some samples, get those done, clean out the shop. You know all the drills that
I,
instead of
I
just
I am so embarrassed by how I used to do samples and how I see guys doing samples now,
it's an
like
artwork
in
now.
in in the form of a Christmas tree
Yeah.
or their letter of the person's name.
Yes.
I mean, when I did a sample, I took a rag, dipped it, wiped it,
We did
wiped
it.
it off. Then
We
I did another one right next to it, just a rag sample.
we did
No
it.
taped off checkerboard. It's incredible the
Yeah,
way
we
guys do samples now. My
we did it.
hat's off to
Yeah, we did it where the refrigerator's going to go, where the stove's going to go.
them.
These guys are doing samples that are like a Picasso. You know what I mean?
Yes.
My uncle would
Yes.
have put his foot up so far up my butt if he saw me. He goes, "What the hell are you doing?" But they make great videos. Customers love to see it. It's a special touch, and I like their style, man. All
You
right, Rob.
know, when you said that Josh was doing some special stuff um, for next week's training, uh, BCC out in and I'm going to hold off on the name and everything because this could be something really big. So um, it's a 7,000 foot ballroom in a college.
Wow.
Basket weave, basket weave 6x6 panels, all hand cut, hand laid.
Hmm.
A medallion, a 60-foot medallion.
Holy smokes.
One room is a chevron. I
Wow.
mean, it was just, you know, and I was doing a training with this crew back in March, and the lead guy was showing me the schematics on this. He was like, how the hell are we going to sand this thing? So I was like, well, you get a power drive.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know your guys they're big gym commercial guys. So, not a big fan of the power drive for what they do, you
Right.
know. To them, it's more of a edger for sport. So I said, well, you get the power drive. It's time to, see what she can do.
Yeah.
So I said, when you're ready and it's done and everything, give me a call. And I got there. They had been sanding for a couple days, and there were some pretty good marks in there.
Hmm.
So we did some power drive training. They went and got another power drive. And I mean, you just won't believe what this machine can do. I know we're always talking about the power drive, okay?
Yeah.
But I had to kind of, blow it off like, yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But even because I said, all right, listen, I'm not just going to show you. We're going to do a section, soup to
Yeah.
nuts, stain it and everything to make sure that everybody here is really happy with this scratch pattern, you know? And I mean, they were just blown away. There's not a scratch.
Wow.
It's flawless. This
That's
could be, I don't want to jinx them. I'm not going to say anything, but you hear the music. You
wow.
hear the music?
I'll tell you
Yeah.
what. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you. You might also be hearing music from the other one. They're doing some special stuff, man.
All
So
right.
yeah,
This could
pretty
be,
cool.
yeah.
I was intending to be there that week. I was, but I can't be there. I got something else I've committed to, so I can't be there. So I will say this. Let's say
Yeah,
you do.
he wanted us to do the show
I
from his
know, I
place.
know. It breaks my heart that we can't do it from there.
So I might have to do the show alone. It's going to be quiet, a lot of crickets.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will
Josh
let you
can
do,
talk though.
huh?
Josh can talk.
You could have him do my job.
Yes,
Listen,
exactly.
Here's the
He'd
deal
fit.
about
He'd slide right in.
we've never done that before. We've never done a show without one or the other of us. We've never done that. And I've told you I'm fine if if it works out, you can do something like that. Doesn't hurt my feelings. But I see you. You got an ego. Yes, you do.
Oh my God.
You won't let me do a show without you. So it's in the contract, I
Well,
guess.
you're just so. I guess it's the thing that bothers me about you. It's like you want to do every show without me.
No,
You're excited. You're jacked up to do a show
I'm not. It's just if something
on the
comes up.
floor with Wayne. Boom, done.
All right, let's get back to scheduling real quick. Let's say you do find yourself in that predicament where, as
Are you gonna
the
beat the owner of the store up because his wife mouthed off to you?
yeah,
Yeah. What do
no,
we do then?
best case scenario, you've done everything humanly possible, and then just sometimes it just circumstances come up where you just cannot get to a job. I think people are pretty darn forgiving if you just tell them up front. If you just say, listen, give them as much notice as you can. Oh, I got a story for you in a minute, real quick. But and just tell them, hey, listen, it I hate this. We pride ourselves on not never being late to a job. I mean, we have a track record that backs that up. We just cannot get there on this date. We have this job went over, blah blah blah, unforeseen. I think if you give them enough notice or whatever, I think most people are pretty forgiving about stuff like that. And I think just head that off as quick as you can. I know I would be. We've all had people come and do work in our house or whatever. I think that most people understand that unless they got a really hard, we're going on vacation, blah, blah, blah. And, it is what it is, man. You can't kill yourself in this job. And sometimes it happens. I don't care who you are. I mean, nobody's Superman. Once in a while, you're put in a box where you just, completely out of your control. I think you just have to just face the music and what have you. But listen to this. There's a place up the road from us that does weddings. Really beautiful setting on a farm, beautiful barn, nice bar inside. They made it spectacular for doing weddings, right? Next weekend, book two weddings at the same time.
Oh,
Two weddings at the same time.
how is that possible?
Oh man. It's I don't know what do you do? That I can't imagine anything worse than that.
How, what are they going
Eileen,
to do?
Eileen,
What are they going to do?
Yep.
what would you do in that circumstances?
Cry.
You've already sent the things out for your guests. You've got the caterer. You've probably got a musician lined up or music or whatever. You got everything lined up. And with a week's notice, or I guess a week or 2 weeks or whatever, that they've double booked it.
I honestly wouldn't know what to do.
I think I don't. Here's what the only thing I can think of you have to do is maybe try help them find another place and pay whatever the difference is. I don't.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing you could do.
I'm
Oh,
glad that's not happening to me.
Oh my gosh.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's,
Or if you're a dude, you're a cheapskate. You don't want to pay for the wedding. You tell your bride that hey, this is what happened. So I guess we'll just go to long weekend to Gatlinburg. Um,
I don't know. I think I just tell everybody show up. The,
oh, I like
the
that.
the toughest
Yeah.
party.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. I'll put my boys against anybody.
yeah. Hey, we're coming.
We're
Yeah.
coming. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be there. Okay.
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
That's how we roll here.
Wedding wars.
Exactly. God, most of the guys at
Oh,
my wedding were hockey players.
ah,
We're in. That's
yeah.
our venue now.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. I'd die if I would. All right.
That's a movie.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so listen, I mean, I talked to a floor guy a long time ago who was a very successful floor guy. He didn't do very good work. I thought he did pretty average work, but he had a very good big company and he was very successful. And one day he told me, Wayne, you know what? It's not life or death. It's just floors. Don't kill yourself over it. It's not life and death. It's just floors. We're not doing heart surgery here. Yeah, and I had the exact opposite my entire career approach. That I thought doing heart surgery would be a step down from doing floors.
We're not doing
But
cataract surgery here.
yeah, so but the guy was probably right. So don't kill yourself over it. All right, Rob. What else you got? Let's call it a day.
That's it. Let's move on.
All right, this has been another episode of On the Floor with Wayne and Rob and Eileen. Please stay tuned for another episode.